Here are two VCSOs, also known as voltage controlled signal oscillators. The one on the right operates at 2.4 GHz and the one on the left operates at 5.2. Now, before going any further, I need to point out that operating these things in public is highly illegal in many countries, and here in the UK, it could land you in jail. So please only use this for educational purposes and for testing your own equipment in your own private space. Now, the reason I'm making this video is I see a lot of comments and product reviews when it comes to 5 GHz VCSOs like this one, and the comments say they don't work, they don't do anything, there's no radio signal coming out from the output, they don't affect my Wi-Fi devices, and they don't kick me off the router and things like that. So I'm going to explain exactly what's going on and where the mistake happens. Now, but first let's talk about the 2.4 module. So the ease of using 2.4 is pretty much one solution for all. So if you turn this on in a room or on a train carriage or whatever, you immediately see everyone who's, for example, got Bluetooth headphone or earphones on, they'll start working, and they'll probably start removing their headphones and checking them. Any Wi-Fi devices connected to 2.4 GHz will fail to communicate the router or the Wi-Fi access point. The smaller the Wi-Fi device, the greater it's affected because of the fact that they've got smaller antennas on their unit. So like maybe card payment devices, smartphones like that, those are very susceptible. Desktop computers, you know, maybe you need to go get a bit closer for it to work. Also, as a reminder, the lower the frequency, the easier they propagate and sort of bend in different directions. So with 2.4, it pretty much goes in all directions. Now with the 5 GHz system, right, just before going to that, I'm just going to show you the Wi-Fi bands for 2.4 GHz. So here we go. All right, so on this Wikipedia page, you can see the when we look at the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi technology, so BG, NAX, and etc. As you can see, the frequency range, regardless of channel, they're all within the 24xx megahertz sort of range, which is why they're all affected by a VCSO running at 2.4 GHz. So like I said, it's one solution for all. Now coming back here to this 5 GHz unit, so this one is at 5.2. You can also get some that run at 5.8 GHz, and I'm going to show you exactly why that's very important to know. So we come back here. I'm just going to scroll down to the section of this Wikipedia page. By the way, if you're interested, this Wikipedia page is called List of WLAN Channels. So we come down here real quick to the 5 GHz spectrum. Now you can start to see the problem here. Starting with channel 32 onwards, the frequency range are all is all over the place, isn't it? It starts from 5.16 GHz and it goes all the way up to 5720 and 5.8. So that's why these devices are being sold in 5.2 and 5.8 GHz varieties. So let me tell you exactly what happened in my experience. So I turned it on the first time at home, and it was able to affect my devices, my desktop PC. The Wi-Fi was affected. It affected the throughput. 2 different devices affected, and then every subsequent time I used it, it had no effect whatsoever. So I thought the device was broken, and I thought there's a cold solder joint, or you know, one of the components broke. And then I went on the product review page, and I noticed that everyone was also saying, or rather I should say, half of the buyers were saying the same thing. They said there's no signal output and all that. And then thankfully I came across this page here, which clearly explains why this is happening. And that's because your Wi-Fi, in the case of mine, was actually switched to a different channel. So it switched to a higher channel, which is out of the frequency range for this sort of VCSO to have any jamming effect. So the first thing to check if you're in the same situation, is go to your router config page. So as you can see here, this is my router config page. If you look here, there is a channel drop down. So it says the current channel is 52, and you can force it to take on one of these values. So what you want to do then is, say you've got a 5.2 gigahertz VCSO, and you want to sort of let's say you want to jam your Wi-Fi signal at that frequency, then make sure you set your router to use channel 40 or 44 or maybe 48. So you want them to be in the 5.2 range. So in the case of mine, it's currently at channel 56, so it's 5280. So that should work. But can you imagine if let's come back here again. As you can see here, the channel is set to auto. So what if it accidentally chose a higher channel, right, that sits in the 5.6 or 5.8 gigahertz range? And well, then it wouldn't be affected at all by this unit. So then you need to buy the 5.8 gigahertz model instead of 5.2. So I'm just going to come back here real quick. I'm going to show you if I can quickly get to the reviews page of this product, and I'll show you the general complaints that people have, right? So let's have a look at the reviews here then, yeah. So this is the product on AliExpress, and you can see some people here are praising it. They say it works fine, but if we scroll down and we look at the lower ratings, you can see can't be turned on. Like all 5 gigahertz jammers, it didn't work. And then you can see it says turns on but does not admit signal. So if you're one of these in the shoes of one of these people, just check and make sure that your Wi-Fi system is indeed in the 5.2 gigahertz range, and then try it again. I guess this applies to people who can't afford to buy a frequency counter or power meter or things like that, and there's no way to tell whether there's actually a signal coming out of the device. But it's most likely because your Wi-Fi isn't running at 5.2 gigahertz. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching.